So this next set of moves is going to be for hip flexors and trunk rotation. You can do it as many sets as you would like, just a nice kind of dynamic warm-up, great for finding some of that lunge, a little bit of core stability. I want you to think of keeping your abs on the entire time and just finding about 30 seconds of rest when you get into, or holding once you get into some of these deeper stretches. So we'll start more dynamic and with a little bit of a deeper stretch. So from your downward facing dog, you can start here, pedal out through your heels, getting a little bit of that calf stretch. Find as much bend as you need to. It doesn't matter how close your feet get to the ground, as long as you feel your calves start to turn on. A little bit of that dynamic warm up. Take a breath in, find some stability here. Pause, breath in. Exhale. Inhale, lift your right leg high. Exhale, step through to a low lunge. From here, you're going to drop to your back knee, and you're going to lift up into crescent moon. So a lot of people really find a nice wide bend and then sink into that hip flexor, but then you're dumping into your low back, your abs aren't on. So rather, I'd have you have a closer stance through your front leg. So you're finding about 90-90, and then you can maybe wiggle a little bit more forward. I want you to think of pressing into your left hip. So you're pressing slightly forward, almost like you're tucking your hip. You'll feel a little bit of that stretch through your hip flexor, but now you're not dumping into your low back, your core is on, and you have a good amount of stability. If this is too much on your back knee, you can always put a towel, pillow, or fold up the back of your mat so that you're not digging into your back knee. So you're finding that nice little bit of stretch. If you need to find a little bit more, you can go forward and back. Just keep your abs on the whole time. So the goal here is a little bit more dynamic while pressing into your hips. So do this as long as you need to kind of feel that nice warmth through your hip. And then you can start to press into a half split. So for these, I like to come down to about my fingertips, and then I'm finding a hamstring stretch on the right side. I'm flexing my toes as much as I can towards my nose, and rather than sitting my glutes all the way down to my heel, I'm thinking a nice flat spine and reaching my tailbone to the back of the room. Nice flat back, breath in. And then you can start to move in and out of this one. So you can come into that hip flexor a little bit here, dynamic, press into your hamstring. Moving up, warming it up, abs are on, avoiding sitting into it for too long, avoid dipping into that low back, so you're just finding that press and hamstring. Press and hamstring. You can do this on both sides, just switch it out. Don't have to do anything fancy. So you're finding that nice 90-degree bend, maybe a little bit more forward if you need a bit more of that stretch. Core is on, square your hips. So I always like to kind of hook the front hip or the leading hip with my thumb and pull back, and then I'm pressing my right hip flexor forward. So you hold as much as you need to. You can bend into it, straighten it a little bit, and then find your hip or your hamstring. Nice flat back. Hips point back rather than towards your glute or your heels, and then you can start to move forward. A little bit of hip flexor here, a little bit of hamstring. Inhale, press it up. Exhale, hamstring. You can move as fast or as slow. I recommend a little bit slower so that nothing gets tweaked. You just move like you're moving through honey. Abs are on the whole time, so you make nice, smooth transitions. Try not to wobble. You just move in and out. So that's a little bit of your dynamic hamstring hip flexor.